Woman's near-death journey. What her deceased family shared will blow your mind. Imagine this. She's just 9 years old, and something remarkable is about to happen in her life story. It all takes place during a family picnic, organized by her father and his dear friend, along with their extended family and a few other adventurous souls. Their destination? A peaceful lake where her father was building a cottage. The day is like a blank canvas filled with the promise of adventure, and you can feel the excitement in the air. Originally, they were planning a different picnic, but a spontaneous invitation from Bob, a bearer of unforeseen change, redirects their path from Ottawa to the unexplored shores of this beautiful lake. This unfamiliar place welcomes them with its pristine beauty, hinting at an extraordinary adventure. As the morning sun bathes everything in warm light, the men focus on their construction project, while the children eagerly anticipate an afternoon boat ride. While most of the men take a break on the shore, her father and a select few seize the chance to join them. They stay on the shoreline while the remaining group, which includes Bob, his spouse, their 2 young children, her mother, her 3 siblings, and herself, sets off on a small fishing boat meant for only 5 people. And so, their aquatic adventure begins, but fate has other plans. As they sail, the boat's engine sputters and disaster strikes as the boat tips over. Remarkably, none of them know how to swim. A miracle saves her brother, thanks to a tightly zipped Forks leather jacket that trapped enough air to act as a makeshift life preserver. Miraculously, she clings to him underwater. A heroic search and rescue operation begins to find all the endangered passengers, and when they finally pull her out of the water, she is lifeless. It seems luck is on their side. One of the men on the shore, who recently saw a CPR demonstration on TV, steps forward with courage, hoping it might save her. Their combined efforts miraculously revive her. But her experience during this crucial moment is unlike the typical stories of a bright light or a stairway to heaven. Instead, she finds herself in a dimly lit room, filled with many mysterious individuals. It feels like a family reunion, radiating love, where each soul shares a deep connection with her. A gathering of friends and loved ones exuding boundless affection. The atmosphere wraps her in a cozy cocoon of warmth, like sitting by a crackling fire under a snug, inviting blanket. In her state of wonder, she feels an unusual sense of happiness. Unexpectedly, a familiar voice echoes through the surroundings, the voice of her grandmother who had passed away a year earlier. With gentle reassurance, her grandmother conveys that it's not yet her time to leave this world and urges her to return. Just as she's torn between staying and going back, another voice, her father's, intervenes. He pleads with her to return, entrusting her with the solemn duty of caring for her mother. Reluctantly, she yields to her father's plea and wakes up in an unfamiliar place, in a room missing its familiar comforts, her voice calling out for her mother. Additionally, she feels a strong desire to share the mysterious insights she gained during her journey in the otherworldly realm. In the tapestry of her memories, she goes back to the moments when the boat's engine faltered, putting the vessel in grave danger on the water. As the water started seeping in, her mother and her friend Nora became overwhelmed by fear and tried to escape the impending disaster. What they didn't know was that their actions unintentionally led to the boat flipping over. Adding to the complexity, no one on the boat knew how to swim, including Bob, her mother, Nora, and Bob's kids, who hadn't learned to swim yet. Nora found herself holding onto one side of the overturned boat, while her mother was on the other side. 2 small children were placed on top of the upturned boat, acting as a balance to keep it from sinking. Her sister, Debbie, was caught in Nora's grasp on one side, desperately holding onto the precarious lifeline offered by the capsized boat. Meanwhile, she and her brother were stranded further away from the overturned vessel, beyond immediate reach. In the midst of the chaos, Debbie's fear overwhelmed her, and she clung to Nora. Tragically, this act sealed Nora's fate. When bystanders realized the seriousness of the situation, her father and 2 other brave individuals rushed to the scene to help. They quickly got another boat and began the risky rescue mission to save as many lives as possible. Despite the terrifying experience, they made the difficult decision not to return her mother to the unstable boat, fearing another tragedy. They sounded the alarm, and while Nora was found swiftly, it took more than 2 days to rescue her father and sister. This heartbreaking story demonstrates her father's deep love for his family. When they found him, he was holding her sister in the water, a final act of fatherly devotion. It took several days, around 2 to 3, before she reunited with her mother. With one of her uncles by her side, they journeyed back to the city, anxiously awaiting the grim news. Her mother had the painful task of delivering the heart-wrenching news that her father and Debbie had become eternal inhabitants of those waters, victims of the tragic boat accident. Nora, too, met a sorrowful end in the water's embrace. Her father, despite his initial position near the shore, circled the lake tirelessly, overcoming obstacles before succumbing to the water. 3 lives, caught in an unrelenting and catastrophic chain of events, slipped away, leaving a lasting mark of profound trauma. A remarkable series of events unfolded in her life, starting with a brush with mortality when she was quite young. Some might call it fate or destiny, but for her, it was a moment that shaped her deeply. This significant event happened during her childhood and sparked her strong connection with faith. Around the age of 9 or 10, she began her journey into Sunday school, which ignited a deep spiritual bond. This experience left her with a powerful, mysterious feeling of love. Whether it was a reunion with departed family members or the work of a higher power, it left an enduring impression in her heart and mind. The mystery of this episode had a profound impact on her, leading to her unwavering devotion to God and a lifelong commitment to acts of kindness. Another brush with the unknown happened later, in her 20s, during her career in nursing. She needed to have her wisdom teeth removed, but her asthma made traditional dental procedures risky. As a result, she was scheduled for day surgery, which required a challenging 2-hour journey from Ottawa due to long waiting lists at local hospitals. The surgery seemed to go well, but while she was under anesthesia, a frightening heart incident occurred in the post-op recovery room. She found herself in a disoriented state, observing the medical team's frantic efforts and their cryptic conversations. Suddenly, she returned to her body and asked the doctor if her heart had stopped. He seemed perplexed and denied it. His departure was swift, leaving her with a mysterious phrase from her ordeal, unlike anything she had encountered in conventional medical crisis. Her recounting of this profound experience faced skepticism from both the physician and her own mother. Nonetheless, her career as a nurse placed her at the bedside of those near the end of life repeatedly. She became a source of comfort, offering words of reassurance and gentle care. She often sat in quiet connection with these individuals, sharing soft conversations and verses. Twice, she believed she witnessed the departure of a person's spirit at the exact moment of their passing. The first time, it appeared as a fleeting mist emanating from the person's body near the heart and then dissipated into the air. The second occurrence was more vivid, as the person's talkative spirit seemed to separate from their body before her eyes. These encounters inspired her to become a death doula, guiding souls on their journey beyond this world. In her teachings, she emphasized the importance of letting go of the fear of death. The physical body is just a temporary vessel for the spirit. With unwavering conviction, she encouraged a deeper respect for the dignity of all human lives, even those marginalized by society, like the homeless. In her role as a nurse, she treated everyone with formality, unless they preferred otherwise. Her interactions, whether on public transport or in bustling public spaces, were infused with her belief in the inherent value of human connection. In the simplest gestures, like a kind word or a shared conversation, she saw the power to bring smiles and brighten even the darkest days.